Welcome! In this video, we will be going over the features that are enabled and disabled depending on if you're playing Aidyn Chronicles with the Expansion Pak installed. The Nintendo 64 was equipped with 4 MB of RAM bus DRAM. This was allocated on a per-game basis between the main CPU, graphics, and sound. Like many consoles, the N64 had hardware ports for future expansions. One of these was a slot for an extra RAM module. However, due to RDRAM not working with unpopulated slots, a dummy continuity module was installed stock in the system, called the Jumper Pack. This could be swapped out for the Expansion Pack using the provided pry tool, or a flat long instrument if you can't find it, to double the memory to 8 MB. This type of RAM was also used in the PlayStation 2, without the expansion option. You can find more details about the quirks and struggles of working with this memory technology from the ROM Hacker Cases series on YouTube. Some developers took advantage of the extra memory with optional enhancements, with a few titles requiring it. Aidyn Chronicles falls into the former category, and we'll go over some of the differences depending on if you have the extra RAM installed. Among the initializations the game executes when turned on is a check for the amount of available RAM. If it's more than 4 megs, it sets this 16-bit value to true. You'll be seeing a lot of it in this video. Except here for some reason, where it also determines the size of the frame buffer, screen resolution, and maximum length of the graphics code. The first thing the player will notice is a splash screen graphic telling you if you have the expansion pack installed, along with changes in the title screen music. Also on the title screen, the flyover montage may skip the desert scene, and it'll also mute the environmental sounds with the Jumper Pack. It also limits the amount of particles active in the game. We may touch on that system in a later entry. The most well-known difference when using 8 megs, and the most common use for it, was to allow a higher resolution of the game. For Aidyn, this meant going from 320 by 240 to 512 by 240. The difference is considered by some too subtle to notice, apart from more columns for debug text. There was also planned a 32-bit color mode for the game. A behind-the-scenes way the game makes room for the Jumper Pack is with what is referred to as the Memory Maker struct. Basically, it acts like a temporary save file, but without the screenshot. During certain sections of the game, it updates this save file with relevant game state data, then frees up the memory used for data tables like those for characters and items. Another call loads back the game state from the struct and reloads the tables, sometimes right after the call to unload the data. Like with the title screen, several other music tracks are changed. This goes for the combat music, which goes from picking one of 5 tracks to picking one of 4 others. I'll leave a link to a playlist in a description, but here are a few short samples of the music that's changed. There's also some more memory checks that the expansion pack overrides. This next part's pretty code heavy, so I'll try to get through it quickly. But among the code affected is changing the cache for character animations, several checks for free memory thresholds, the size of combat magic menus, and various other places in the code. The last of the more notable changes are those to the overworld map. Several objects and their associated collision will turn off if there's no expansion pack. This is usually models, sounds, and some NPCs that are affected. I developed some scripts in Unity to visualize the map and highlight the objects that would be affected by the expansion pack. To demonstrate the changes, I've added a script to toggle the expansion pack flag. When the map loads, those affected objects will turn on or off depending on the state of that flag. I'll use this in the next video to explore areas affected by the expansion pack flag. Afterwards, the next topic we'll discuss is the skill and stat mechanics. Thanks for watching.